From Vermont Public, this is The Frequency. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. It's Friday, July 18th, and here are today's headlines. Vermont is joining 19 other states in suing the Trump administration for canceling a program that helped towns prepare for natural disasters. The BRIC program has helped communities across the state pay for culvert upgrades, fortify bridges, and helps with other projects to protect downtowns from flooding. But FEMA shuttered the program this spring, and the AG's office estimates that's left about $5 million in state projects in limbo. In Brattleboro, BRIC money was supposed to fund a study of ways to protect downtown from flooding caused by lower Whetstone Brook. Brian Bannon is the zoning administrator there. He says during Tropical Storm Irene, the brook caused millions of dollars in damage the town would like to prevent in the future.
We had commercial structures that were closed for months while they were being rewired and having elevators repaired and having heating systems replaced. So the scale of damage was pretty extensive.
Bannon says without funding, the study won't happen. Human-caused climate change is bringing more extreme rain to Vermont, and the state is seeing more and more federal disaster declarations. The Trump administration says states should foot more of the bill for those costs. After months of delays, Vermont's tobacco control program could soon get much-needed federal money. The state was bracing for a $1 million shortfall for the program just days ago because federal grants have been disrupted under the Trump administration. But this week, federal officials informed them they could reapply for money to cover expenses through April of next year. The program works with community partners to curb smoking and vaping in the state. Kelly Doherty is with the Vermont Department of Health.
The program was actively working on a budget to cut funding from the coalitions, and they were getting ready to make that happen. And then this came, and we were all very surprised.
Doherty says they expect to receive the funds, but they don't know how long it will take to be approved or whether federal support will continue in the future. In Quebec, officials announced this week the addition of hundreds of millions of dollars to the province's education budget for the upcoming school year. CBC reports the government came under fire last month for announcing cuts that would have decreased funding by $570 million. The sum of money announced Wednesday amounts to $540 million. And Cold Hollow Sculpture Park in Enosburg Falls is hosting a Canadian artist in residence this month. But Garfield Morgan's visit almost didn't happen. He was born in Jamaica and now lives in Edmonton. Morgan says his friends and family discouraged him from taking the U.S.-based residency because of ongoing tensions between the two countries. While Morgan acknowledged they had his best interests at heart, he tells Vermont Public for him,
"Art transcends borders and current everyday issues. I, of course, hesitated, but based on having communicated with the team here at Cold Hollow, I thought this international relationship needed to have happened."
Morgan's current work incorporates secondhand clothing to draw attention to how overconsumption affects people and places where fast fashion is produced. He'll give an interactive talk about his work tomorrow, Saturday, July 19th at 2 p.m. at the Sculpture Park. It is free and open to the public. Coming up, nothing says summer quite like the gorgeous natural nighttime light displays produced by fireflies. We hear the sounds associated with a recent evening performance in southwest Connecticut. After this.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency, where support comes from Alpine Telehealth, offering telepsychiatry solutions for Vermont hospital, community mental health, and primary care. Physician-owned and operated since 2018. Learn more at alpinetelehealth.com.
It's a quintessential summer scene, shimmering nightly with flickers and flashes. The New England News Collaborative's Anya Pinello recently checked out an evening light show in southwest Connecticut, courtesy of one of nature's most magical insects.
It's a pitch-black night in northern New Canaan, and the tree frogs are out in abundance. But we're not here to see frogs.
It's dark, which is what fireflies love.
We're here to visit a firefly sanctuary.
Let's get you sprayed up and then wander in.
Chris Shipper helped create the New Canaan Land Trust Firefly Sanctuary, and tonight he's my guide. We put on some bug spray, climb over a rugged trail marked with tree roots and mud,
Watch your steps.
and enter a meadow filled with thousands of fireflies.
I feel like I'm seeing fireworks, but shrunken down to the smallest size possible.
Avery Gibson is 11 years old. She's here with her Girl Scout troop. They're sitting on a bench at the top of the meadow, wearing mosquito nets over their faces. Her friend Aoife Dilday is also 11, and she says she's learning a lot about fireflies she didn't know about before.
I didn't know there were so many types of fireflies. I thought there was just a firefly. Hooray!
There's actually 170 different species of fireflies living in North America, with some unusual names.
The comet, the heebie-jeebie.
There's also the Big Dipper, the Triple Flasher. Chris says there's even one called a femme fatale, which lures the males into her grasp.
And then she consumes them.
This sanctuary is 6.5 acres of meadow and forest that has two things fireflies need: darkness and woodlands. And both of those, Chris says, are becoming harder and harder to find.
The biggest challenge for fireflies is habitat. And there are fewer and fewer places near big cities that are like this, completely undeveloped.
Fireflies need darkness so they can find each other and reproduce. The flashing light they give off is actually a mating call. The females hang out near the ground, flashing their lights, while the males fly up to the trees.
They are going up to try to locate or signal to fireflies to a female down below. And when they coordinate their signals, he will try to fly down to meet the female.
From there, the females lay their eggs. The eggs hatch, and the larvae spend 1 to 2 years living on the ground, which is why pesticides and other chemicals are also a big challenge for fireflies.
All the things that people put down to get a great lawn, but then also suppress almost everything else.
Maddie Norton is volunteering with the land trust that runs the sanctuary. She hopes that by seeing thousands of fireflies like this, people will get inspired to make small changes at home.
Maybe you don't need your landscape lighting on all night. You can turn it off at like midnight and turn it back on at like 6 a.m, just like small things like that.
Like any good day in summer, the night ends in rain. Before we head out, I asked Chris what he thinks the future holds for fireflies.
It's tough. I mean, as more and more development comes, as more and more lawns get built out, as more and more people want, a monoculture, there's less and less habitat. The same challenges that our birds are facing are being faced by fireflies and all different species.
But he says the sanctuary is a good start.
It's about making a gift to the future. And hopefully this will be thriving in another 100 or 500 or 1,000 years. That's the hope.
For the New England News Collaborative, I'm Anya Pinillo.
And now it's time for our weekly check-in on news from the world of sports. Okay, Major League Baseball fans, intermission is over, and it's time to get on with the second half of the show. At least that's how it feels for folks like me who are decidedly meh when it comes to the league's annual All-Star Game and the week-long break from the regular season that comes with it. It is necessary, sure. I mean, after all, a 162-game schedule is the longest of the major sports leagues by far, and the near-daily grind of the game necessitates a pause. But the All-Star Game itself, despite the rave reviews this year's version has received, still feels a bit artificial in terms of the excitement it's supposed to generate. For one thing, the outcome no longer determines which team from either the American or National League gets home field advantage for the World Series. That system ended in 2017, and now it's decided by whichever team in the Fall Classic had the better regular season record, which makes more sense anyway. But it was pretty cool to see something new. Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners became the first catcher in league history to win the Home Run Derby contest, and the game itself was determined by a mini Home Run Derby, also a first, when the 9-inning affair ended in a 6-6 tie. There was some drama there as the National League jumped out to a 6-0 lead, only to see a late rally by the AL All-Stars tie things up, with the senior circuit ultimately prevailing in the home run swing-off. Each league selected 3 players to step into the box to get 3 swings against batting practice pitches, and that's when Kyle Schwarber of the Philadelphia Phillies connected on home runs on all 3 of his swings to hand the NL the win. Also a first for the All-Star Game, the use of the automatic strike zone, which does not translate to human umpires replaced by a version of the robot overlords that will inevitably control all of us. Instead, the ABS system allows a batter to challenge a call the umpire has made on balls or strikes. Teams only get 2 challenges per game, and if the automated ump version backs up the human call, one of those challenges is lost. And much to my surprise, I didn't hate it. The limit to 2 challenges means teams will want to save them for critical moments, and unlike replay video review, the calls are made in seconds and don't bog down the game. If ABS does ultimately become part of baseball for real, it was a good choice using the inconsequential All-Star game to give fans a chance to judge it for themselves. As for the rest of the season, there's a lot to be excited about as the games that count resume today. The Boston Red Sox, who for most of the season were spinning their wheels at or below 500, were riding a 10-game winning streak heading into the All-Star break, and today they will head to the friendly confines of Wrigley Field to take on one of baseball's best this year, the first place in the NL Central Chicago Cubs. If the playoffs started tomorrow, the Red Sox would just squeak in as a wild card, but clearly they would like to have some more wiggle room, and priority number one before the end of the month trading deadline should be acquiring a top 3 starting pitcher and bolstering the bullpen with a reliever who can be relied on to hold on to a lead through the late innings to get to closer Aroldis Chapman. The New York Yankees are hoping to regain some swagger that they lost in July, ceding the division lead to the Toronto Blue Jays, but count on the Yankees making the playoffs for sure, either as a wild card or more likely once they inevitably acquire another frontline pitcher as repeat division winners of the AL East. The New York Mets had a bit of a dip this month too, but were just a half game behind the Philadelphia Phillies as the second half began, and I predict they will end the season as champs of the NL East. Switching to soccer, the Vermont Green Football Club starts the playoffs tonight following an undefeated regular season and after securing the team's first ever Northeast Division crown. Tonight, the Green begin their round of 32 postseason push with a sold-out home game at Virtue Field against the Hudson Valley Hammers. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. And this week, ESPN handed out its annual ESPY Awards. It's like the Oscars for sports. And among the big winners was Vermont's own Ilona Maher, who took home the award for Best Breakthrough Athlete. The women's rugby star is a Burlington native and became one of the highest-profile players for the U.S. Women's Rugby Sevens team, debuting with the squad in 2018, competing in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, and then becoming something of a household name when she helped make history for the 2024 U.S. team that won a bronze medal in Paris, the first ever Olympic medal for U.S. Women's Rugby Sevens. Maher also endeared herself to fans all over the world with her viral TikTok videos shot at the Olympic Village in Paris. They revealed a charismatic, confident, and often hilarious personality, something many pro athletes lack when it comes to public engagement, and they were also acclaimed for a focus on body positivity. Maher demonstrated pride in being a strong, visibly muscular woman, and later was featured in Sports Illustrated's annual swimsuit issue. She competed in front of a national TV audience on Dancing with the Stars, and with a following of some 8 million people across several media platforms, she's no doubt inspired a new generation of young women to get into scrums of their own on the rugby pitch. And that's our weekly look at news from the world of sports. Thanks for listening to The Frequency today. We had additional reporting from Abigail Giles, Lexi Krupp, Mark Davis, and Jen Jarecki. Today's episode was edited by Stephanie Colombini, and our music is by Blue Dot Sessions. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. I'll talk to you soon.
These days, there's so much news, it can be hard to keep up with what it all means for you, your family, and your community. The Consider This podcast from NPR features our award-winning journalism. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a news story and provide the context and analysis that helps you make sense of the news. We get behind the headlines. We get to the truth. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.